Good evening, Free Enterprise fans, and welcome to another race of the Eblan Elixir League Moonveil Mixer Flag set. We have Narrowcat versus Soapbox Gamer on the top, and Stupid Sexy Flanders versus Elven Star on the bottom. My name is Engie Dave, and joining me is our trackers, Ryodo and Step Lively, our restreamer, the king of Vanilla Dathis, and my co-commentator, Noobtree87. How are you doing, Noobtree?
I'm doing fantastic, Engie Dave. I have my vanilla counter ready to go here. Just see what we roll in this seed today. We got a lot of good matchups here with these objectives that we see here. One of them we know that Narrowcat's probably going to fade since he's team Heart Faders Anonymous. But what do you think about these objectives we see popping up here?
I'm seeing a distinct lack of Complete the Giant of Babel, and I'm sad about it.
Yeah, seeing Edge as the hero, you want a little bit of a spiciness and make it a little fun for us to watch here. But for the runners, you kind of like to see none of those hard ones being available. But we do have that Tower of Zot. That's a couple of boss checks that we can knock off our list, as well as Queen at the Town of Monsters and returning that Pan to Ying's wife. Let's see. Looks like Edge being the start. Who would you want to see partnered up once we get into the race starting?
I'm always happy to see a white mage with Edge. So,
would you prefer Rosa or Porum here?
Dealer's choice. They're both functional white mages.
All right. Well, we're about to find out who's going to join our team on the adventure. Edge walks into the castle with the ninja swag and gets a cane as his associate.
That's
well, start.
How many runners are going to beeline directly to the treasury?
Yeah, it's T Wildish Max Tier 5, I believe. With starting out, that's still some great gear available right off the bat.
Also, Kane is a fantastic partner for Edge because with Sea Hero on, Edge is our anchor and Edge is speedy. Kane also speedy.
And on the overworld, you want to be fast because that means you go faster than anybody there. It's a little rough mid-game when you go underground, but it's something that's manageable here, especially when you have a lot of information coming out of that treasury soon. Oh, look, Divergence. Okay. We have Stupid Sexy Flanders and Elven Sorrow checking out Baron right off the bat. Narrowcat going to Damsian to launch the hook, and Soapbox is going to give us our treasury to rate.
Also, did you increment the vanilla counter by 1 because that was a vanilla Kane that's joined us?
I did. It looks like we have, right off the bat, Dathis giving us a nice dollop of ice cream that's vanilla flavored. Let's see.
That Gungnir's nice. That's a great Kane, the best weapon you'll find for Kane in an untrapped chest.
Full Moon, Assassin Dagger.
Yeah, that's enough to get going.
Yeah, for the very beginning of the seed, I give that a 6 out of 10. That's a lot of good
Honestly,
gear.
I might go 7 or 8 because that's, for a start of the seed, it gave this party exactly what it needs.
Very respectable. I will say I was looking at the treasury, so I have no idea who was chilling in the Baron Inn. Let's see. Looks like somebody said in chat Quack, so it may be a Palom?
Yes, it was Palom.
Perfect. That's what we want to see. A lot of damage right up front. We don't have to worry about how we're going to take out our bosses later on, but we are still looking for that form of exit and a little bit of white magic to keep us alive.
All right, so with how speedy this start is, does our restreamer have somewhere to be tonight?
Yeah, Dathis, what are we looking for here? Where are we going? Odin and Miss Cave, so not an objective, but good to know Odin is not in any of those cheeky spots we don't want to see him in.
And I do like getting those checks out of the way early. I think everyone here has been burned at least once by, say, a vanilla Demist.
Is Stupid Sexy Flanders... Oh. He's going to check the treasury now. I was about to say, is he saving up and then jumping up the tower?
It would be a spicy play with this party.
Well, we've got another melee character, Sid on Hobbs, fighting Karate for dominance over who is actually the good old man of the seed.
Well...
Okay, sorry about the late ferret.
I was going to say that's not Mega Man Sid, so not the best old man.
Yeah, I still like the colors. They're some of my favorite. But yeah, we would like to see Mega Man come out here, and with that Rune Axe early on, Sid's gonna be able to put out some pretty good damage if we don't find a better bow and arrow for him. All right, so a lot of things happening here. Everyone's going all sorts of different directions. We do have Cure 3s, Silkwebs, and Starvels in that shop that Elven Sorrow is visiting right now. Looks to be in Troya. We have picked up our Sid on Nericad's side. Soapbox high-fiving on the way up, checking Hobbs and getting his third-party member here. And Elvin is now going to do his check of probably the cave and then also check those shops out. And Mist is what it looks like.
That's what it appears to be to me. Yeah, you got all the gear from that treasury. We want to go blow stuff up.
Yeah, and to be fair, our runners, they have been just going all over the place. We haven't really had time to talk about what this race involves. It's week 8 of Moonveil Mixer, the Eblan Elixir League. We've got some playoff implications on one of the races here with the Stupid Sexy Flanders and Brew Dude Attitude. What are you thinking that the runners are thinking about? Do you think they play to their strengths, or are we looking to see some sort of risky play coming up soon?
I think we're gonna see Elvin just make at least one wild play because it's Elvin.
Yeah, one of his favorite things is the keyless tower. Always double checking keyless tower if you don't have that tower key. It seems to play out for him quite a bit. But I also think he's going to be super happy because his favorite character is resting on top of Hobbs. So maybe we get a little bit of an adrenaline rush there.
Oh, you know that Sid's getting snap taken on that side.
Absolutely. And then Luge chilling in Antlion Cave as well, giving us a little bit of a slowdown here. You don't really like to see Luge in too many places, but Antlion I think isn't one of the worst ones. You can get through before you're getting that dialogue, I think.
And most times, yeah, especially with the super fast anchor.
Stupid Sexy Flanders making a play for Updog here. This is that spicy Zot check. We've got Baron Key and Antlion though.
And gets the swoon part from the Assassin Dagger. Well done.
And that's a white shirt.
We're missing something to go with that white shirt.
Yeah, not many people can wear that just yet. But depending on who we find here, Stupid Sexy Flanders, this one's going to be a little tough. I'm not sure that we have the damage to get through that first fight, depending on who it is. But what do you think, NG Dave? What's one thing you wouldn't want to see here with an early Zot check?
Ooh. Trying to think, what would be really nasty? Plague would be annoying here.
Yeah, without a
Although you could just bounce the count.
Oh.
That, however, is exactly what our runners want to see.
Yes, that you just hold A, and you are now on to the second part of Zot.
Not gonna lie, I was hoping for another blue robe or 2 to pop out.
I had the same feeling, NG Dave. I was like, come on, 2 more, let's see it. Which, to be honest, if I see that here, I might fade it because.
Nope. Honestly, with this party, you take that blue robe, you basically take the Assassin Dagger off of Edge, and you can flame every fight.
Okay. I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
But yeah, fair warning anyone, don't flame with the Assassin Dagger on. It does not work.
Yeah, you get about 200 damage out if you're lucky. Okay, so Nericad shopping in Troya as well. We've got Soapbox Gamer fighting the Antlion at Fabul. Antlion got a little lost on the way back to his cave.
Antlion just didn't make that left turn at Fabul. It's fine.
All right, and now we get to see there's Iridia. Who do we have? We've got all the sparkles on the table, I believe. So at Dwarf 2,
there's a thing.
There is a thing that used to be on the moon. Dath is calling it being Wyvern there. Maybe
I'm gonna
get a retreat.
I'm gonna cheer for rudeness here. Ogopogo after a say DKC at Dwarf 1.
Oh yes, that would be terrifying to deal with. And we do finally get our white mage. Porum
Hey.
resting at the top of Zot. Gets to wear that shirt, but you might be able to give it to Rydia here if you want to keep her up and gain EXP. But we don't. So we're going to have our white mage ready to cast magic to keep us alive once she learns the spells.
Yeah, there is that caveat with white magic. Soapbox did show us that Fabul Defense has the hook, so we may be staring down a hook route.
That is interesting. And with the characters available, we would have the means to take on most of what the hook route could throw at us. Levels are available in Eblan Castle if we need to take a dip into there. Oh, hi,
Ooh.
Ruby.
Oh, these glares are gonna tickle.
Let's see what we get from Grimoire. Wrong elemental, but I do like it. We've got Ramu casting some magic there. Can that Edge get that Blizzard out? I believe so.
Edge can, but
all right, and this should be close to finishing off Ruby. Not quite just yet. There's the glare.
bye, Edge.
Edge is
Well, Edge was reducing his constituent atoms with that glare.
Yeah, just about 10 times more than he could handle. And I don't think, unless you're playing vanilla and grinding all day, every day, you're not going to have enough HP to take that.
The play here might be to raise Edge and have him dart something.
That might be what Stupid Sexy Flanders is doing.
That works too.
All right, GG's Ruby. Thanks for staring at us in a way that knocked our Edge down. Elven Sorrow, it looks like taking on Baron N and getting a CPU fight. Soapbox on the way down the hook route to check out that free character. Our trackers are gonna have fun with this one. Rito and Step Lively doing a fantastic job.
And ooh, that's a mop on the hook route.
Yeah, we've got a mop. Another old man to join our team with some potential to have some really good spells already.
And that was a darkness crystal out of Baron, so the world is just opening up.
Yeah, it's looking more and more like
yeah.
Dath
And as Dath was pointing out, we have a weak caster and a bunch of mages and giant access.
Yeah, and there are Ether 2s up in Troya if we need them. What could that mean? Something about money?
I like money.
What would the Darkness Crystal have to do with that money, though? Where can we find the money?
Maybe there's like some sort of secret moon vault we're going to be raiding. This is turned into a heist.
Yeah. Do you have to cast weak on it so you can open it up easy?
It might be so the the tumblers are softened up, so it's easier to crack the safe.
That's true, because some sort of machine might be blocking our access to that money there. Zod, it looks like I didn't see what Zod gave either. It was an objective.
Yeah, Zod gave an X-Scout, so it gave a fancy dart.
Yeah, a fancy dart, or if we're lucky, maybe we find a guy to hold that X-Cal and swing it at things. But I'm honestly looking at this team with the Fu there. We've got some black mages that need a little bit of leveling to get to nuke. This is actually a pretty good team to go throughout the rest of the seed. I wouldn't be surprised to see if any of our runners decides, yep, this is who I'm taking.
Right, and you have sort of Val protection in the form of Edge.
And Kane did come with that jump equipped as well. Elven's Chicken Baron. We're going to see which guards are resting here. Looks like we have
Officer.
officers. So that one's going to be a fairly quick fight. We don't really have to worry too much. Those soldiers are going to take really low amounts of damage, or really low amounts of HP into this fight and take plenty of damage to go down. And the officer just, I guess, doesn't realize that, you know, I'm stronger. I could probably handle this. They just run away.
The officer realizes the fight's going south and retreats to fight another day.
And that's respectable as well. Stupid Sexy Flanders launching the well 14 minutes into the seed. You love to see it when it goes this fast. Are you thinking that maybe we do see that D-Machine grind?
Honestly, with Fusoya, I would personally not, but I'm not the one running this.
Yeah, it does take quite a bit of setup since you can't really run from encounters in these flag sets. Cerimol does bring up a good point. We don't even really know if Fu has weak yet.
I didn't see weak on the spell list. If Fu learns nuke, you can just annihilate the hook route and call it a day.
Lots of divergence going on. These are the seeds that I love to watch because my eyes, I've only got 2 of them. They can only look 2 different ways at once. And there's 4 different things going on here. So I'm not sure how our trackers do it. I don't know how these runners just have so many different wild ideas of where to go on this seed.
We do see a gauntlet in Baron Inn. So Elvin's going to be, or Baron Castle, Elvin's going to be paid for this.
There's typically value in Baron.
A few fights in, all rise for the Senator.
Yes, hopefully we don't accidentally run into whatever it is they do, the filibusters. I hear that those can be quite sad to witness.
Yeah, have you ever seen a crocodile just stand at a podium and speak for hours? It's I think a beauty, awe, and terror.
If I ever saw a crocodile actually speak in real life, I'd probably that would probably be terrifying enough as it is. Standing in a podium, that just makes it even worse.
Well, it does add an element of comedy to it, at least.
Okay, and we have the guy on the moon.
Yep.
That X-Cal from Zot is gonna pay dividends right off the bat.
I would not be surprised to see Flanders bang a U-turn here and straight to ordeals.
Yeah, with Cecil being in Dark Knight mode, there's not really much you should try to check for to get levels because they're just kind of wasted at that point. I wouldn't hate seeing a higher dryer check just to see if we can get another good piece of equipment that this game holds, something called the Adamant Armor. But more than likely, your call is correct.
Nerocad is leaving the tower. I don't know if it bounced off the ruby or...
Yeah, that is...
Yeah, Nerocad wiped the ruby. That ruby is rude.
Yeah, a lot of magic damage coming out with Glare. And with Edge being the anchor here, you'd think, oh, Edge is fast. We can outpace this ruby. But anytime you attack, we got Fire 2s coming out. So little bit of a scary situation, especially this early on, without that Adamant Armor there to protect someone. Okay, we've got Soapbox launching the Lunar Well as well. Stupid Sexy Flanders doing a bit of shopping in Mysidia, and Elvin getting through their gauntlet, ready to see who's coming in. Hey, Yang, how are you doing?
Hi, Yang. Bye, Yang.
I think you'll stick around just enough time for us to get that that other character that we want on the moon.
That's fair. Elvin did not have 5 characters ready, so you temporarily get to be a party member.
Oh, Stupid Sexy Flanders using that Deep Lore, checking the Chocobo Forest, and gets another Gungnir Spear. That's going to be fun to dart. Does a lot of damage.
Yeah, it's a 90-ish power spear.
Yeah, what's the... I believe it's something to do with Edge's level, but what's the exact calculation for those dart damages?
Weapon power times Edge's level.
Okay. Well, that's something that we always like to see. 90 times, we'll say, what, 28, I believe? 29?
It's about 2600, 2700 damage you'll do right now.
Yeah, and folks, we have math on the stream now. All right, Elvin is doing a check that I like to see pretty early, getting some knowledge. If we get a free fight here at the basement, there's potential to get a nice little item as a reward, but it also lets us know, hey, dude, where's Golbez? Is he here? D-Mist? It's technically free.
Yeah, if you have, an hourglass coffin, hourglass, if you have the assassin dagger, makes this free. Or 2 coffins makes this free.
Yep, 2 coffins, that's all we need. We just have to get them out before they take down the character that is using the coffin. Oh, tried to get that Kane.
But Kane shrugs it off.
Yeah, Kane's like, betrayal? This is how you do it. Let me show you how.
Was it betrayal?
And Soapbox happy to check out the moon, getting his Cecil going straight back to the earth. Oh, wow.
Paid for checking that.
Baron with all the value. You could almost say this might be hard required.
I would say that the Baron Castle as a whole is hard required. I would agree with that.
Yeah, nice extra key item that we can use to get a super weapon for our edge later on, possibly. Hopefully, our runners get rewarded for that. But we here in the booth and we here in the chat always love to root for scrap. So I'm a little torn. I kind of want to see that one damage dart come out, but we'll see when we get there. We've got a little ways to go in the seed. It looks like Ordeal's not really a big problem. Dark Elf on the back attack spot is annoying because of the time it takes, but I'm not afraid of this boss here.
Flanders decided I've had enough of your nonsense, Dark Elf. Show me your true form, and chucks a spear directly at it.
Elvin checking the package, seeing the village mist getting destroyed by swords. I wonder, do you think Elvin is doing this for that Rosa that we see there?
Elvin doesn't know about the Porum sitting in Zot, so this may be for the Rosa.
And since we have Zod available, you've got exit right off the bat. So, I honestly, from Elvin's perspective, I respect this play. This is a good risk to take. Plus, there's a boss checking that in. We might get rewarded with another Golbez, and Elvin just routing the seed perfectly.
Yeah, this is Elvin saying, I want a white mage, and gonna be a little disappointed when he sees the other white mage sitting behind an objective.
Yeah, I think this is where Yang goes back to Mysidia to practice punching the walls there to improve his strength, because Rosa's there's more utility to be used there than with our punch mage, unfortunately. Hello, Ordeals. Thanks for the firebomb.
And, well, thanks for telling us there's not an evil wall sitting at a rude spot.
That is always good to see. Evil wall will be easy to take care of here. And now we get the moment of truth. Who do we see in Kaipo? Who replaced our guards today?
Our guards have been replaced with...
Oh, that's the D-Mist. This is French Vanilla. I'm going to count that. Since it's related to Village of Mist, we're gonna count that up for you, Dathis. Thank you for this vanilla-ish location.
All right, now I just want to see, Demon's turning having the twin harp and harp having, I don't know, adamant rock, just so this has hard required.
Oh, yes. That would, if that is the case, that makes Elvin, the decision to take Rosa over the Porum here, any disappointment you see with that Porum just goes away immediately. All right, and we send our Punch Mage back to the Village of Mages.
To live with his own kind.
All right, Nericad now joining the rest of our runners with checking on the moon. Actually, I don't think Elvin has gone to the moon yet, has he?
Elvin has not. I believe Soap has Nericad is on his way there. Everyone who's done that is, of course, going to immediately get that Cecil online.
I can already tell you this seed favors Elvin because there is a dupe Sid resting in that in that bed at Kaipo. So
That's a sign. And I know what our first question to Elvin has to be later.
did it ever cross your mind to take your dupe Sid at any point?
Exactly.
All right, Brittany's mom, what do you have for us? It's a helmet. Not what we wanted, but it does come from a dragon.
It's a nice hat.
And now the village is populated, so Elvin did kind of do right by the world here. Just making sure they block off that rear entrance so nobody can come through the back, and now they have a populated mist.
So making quick work of ordeals, Narrowcat about to find out the news. There's a holy man up here. Well, future holy man.
And at this point, bouncing off of that ruby, with Cecil here, you start to think, maybe I can get some levels and take that ruby on. We don't have the X-Cal on Narrowcat's sides because we know that that's a reward from Zot. But this, for me, I think it drives me, go to Ordeals, go to Eblan, maybe get a Crystal Sword or something, pop an Adamant Armor, and that makes that fight super easy, and we get that objective.
And speaking of Eblan, Flanders is doing exactly that.
And we have a Charmed Lamia. That means we don't get Charmed as a counter.
It also means Edge has been moonlighting as a Snake Charmer.
No, I like it. Sometimes in this economy, it's good to have a side hustle. Being a ninja isn't all it's cracked up to be. It doesn't pay as well, especially after your castle has been destroyed by a large fiery man. But Palin getting all those tasty levels, gets a glass hat for the effort, which great piece of defensive equipment, not the one we want.
Nice solid 30 defense.
We all are aware of how sturdy glass is whenever it takes a direct impact from any blunt object. So good to see that our universe is respecting that here in the Final Fantasy lore. Okay, so pretty much all of our runners are kind of slowing down, getting towards taking the same paths. We have a lot of checks out of the way on some sides. Stupid Sexy Flanders still low on the key item count, but is ahead with that Tower of Zot play already.
And has the Paladin online hunting for... Here, Rydia, have this.
Well, microwaves are in order.
And chat point out, Soph's the only one to have done full defense and gotten the hook.
That is a good point. If Magma doesn't show up, then we know we're taking that hook route. But, I forgot who exactly was on that hook route. Who did we see in spot 1? Or, at the character spot? Leviathan.
At Levy, which, again, leads back to, you have Fu, just take the hook route. If Fu learns Lift 3, you're out in, 3 casts.
Yeah, and we do have white mages, so their job would be to kind of keep our Fu alive. Not too much of an ordeal.
Vale does that just as well.
Edge, Cast, and Flame. This is why you take Assassin Dagger off, because sometimes when you cast it there, even though the skeletons are weak, 1 or 2 of them will live and they'll punch you for it. Not a fun time.
I certainly can't say I've done that sometime in the past week.
Yeah, it's definitely not something that I've done in a while either. Wink, wink.
And there's the big payout.
Ooh, that's a reward. So with everything that we have here, do you just the last thing you have to check here, I believe, is Fabul on Stupid Sexy Flanders' side, correct?
I believe so.
So at this point, just go there. Once we see the hook, I see no hesitation. We've got Adamant Cecil online. Uh, Stupid Sexy Flanders finds out that it's Leviathan, so I don't think you even worry about keeping Fu up. You can just Zerk up Cecil and get through that quickly. Fu would definitely be a help if you have Lit 3, but yeah, there's not much coming forward that would scare me at this point.
And on Elvin's side, having the Palom before taking this Rubicon on, we already see it paying off with a 3,000 point ice 2.
Yeah, you'll love to see it happen. Ruby goes down without giving us our life coach advice again. Stupid Sexy Flanders picking up Rydia and assigning Blarg to her spell list.
Yeah, Rydia, you are now on summoning duty. You are now on a blarging duty.
Okay, so I know Dwarf Castle. That's usually where everyone wants to go. We got that sparkle there, so we know there's a sparkle. Oh, hello, our raiders from RPG Limit Break. Welcome in to this fantastic and exciting race. Please keep the spoilers from the other race to non-existent levels. Otherwise, our moderators will have their newspapers ready. But back to what I was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We are half an hour in here. We did start with Edge Cane and Earth Crystal, so been pretty zoomy so far.
Yeah, our runners have been all over the place. We've barely had time to kind of assess what's going on, so we were just starting to think like, okay, we've got all this stuff done. What do we do next? Is there a reason to check the moon at this point? Would you think that would be too cheeky to go dive the moon before going underground?
With an Adamant Excal Cecil?
I do understand that Queen of the Feymarch spot is an objective, and there are plenty of key item checks down there, but going to the moon, you might run into that Golbez floating around somewhere. Maybe you get a couple of key items like the pan. Maybe find an Adamant, which really, honestly, I think only benefits Elvin at this point since no one else has done the Baron check. But there's a lot that could happen here. With the power we have, this like you said earlier, NG Dave, this is a wide open seed. Our runners could go anywhere at any time.
I would not be surprised to see at least one person dive the moon.
Question is, who is that person?
My money's on bottom right.
That's my guess too. Nericad doing the Eblan check now, going to get rewarded with that Adamant, which will probably push them to go back and face that Ruby. He's like, I'm back and I'm better. Try to glare at me now.
Oh, what? 1 point glare? That all you got?
Dath is pointing out that Soapbox did say no to the Porum, which I understand completely here. We picked up Fu. We don't really need a white mage for a while. Although, towards the end of the game, you kind of start looking at that Porum as being a little bit more needed than that Fu, because the stats for Fu don't really grow as they level up. You see a lot of low HPs. Those Cure 4s probably going to do around 10 to 1200 instead of fully healing your whole party. But
Fu's mental stats are 40 apiece and they don't change.
Now you sacrifice the growth for the easy early game, if you will, until you find Valvalis somewhere that doesn't take any damage from magic.
And before anyone in chat decides me, yes, they do change after level 70, but if you're at level 70, something's gone horribly wrong.
Yeah, I've heard that some Lit 3 seeds can do that to you.
Highest I've ever been in Lit 3 is in the mid 60s.
All right, Stupid Sexy Flanders doing full defense now. Gonna get that hook after a very quick fight. Soapbox Gamer giving that Cecil the X-Cal. Looks like we're checking out the Baron check here on Soapbox's side. I wonder if he decides to check that basement too.
That basement is very free.
And with the adamant armor, much less scary when it comes to taking the damage.
Agreed. Flanders about to discover the news that, yes, this is a hook route.
Now, Flanders hasn't seen the Foo yet. So, with the party that Flanders has, I think it's going to be harder to say yes to that Foo, considering we have power. You're probably looking at the end game at this point, considering what all we found. Like, what party do I want to keep with me? Do you think Foo would be what you take here at this time frame?
Early Foo is just so hard to pass up. Like, nuke, especially you could just slap the admin armor on Foo, and those nukes will be doing 6,000 to like 9,000 damage.
Yeah, that is hard to argue with. Soapbox getting through the officer-soldier fight with super amounts of ease. I do believe they used a coffin, though, on that fight to get rid of the officer.
It ends the fight quickly. I'm not against it.
But as we know here in the booth and in the chat, that's going to make that basement check if we decide to take it a little bit slower. But
Step pointing out it was an edge swooned the officer.
Oh, okay. All right. Then I stand wildly corrected and everything I said was academic. Thank you, Step, for keeping track of this. Like I said, our trackers, they're doing a fantastic job right now, keeping an eye on everything, pushing the buttons, and keeping us in order. I want to give a good shout out to Step Lively and Ryudo. Y'all need to go follow their channels. I want to also give a shout out to Dathis, aforementioned King of Vanilla, doing the restream, rolling this fantastic seed for us and keeping us entertained on this almost after dark restream of Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise. Also, let me give a shout out to NG Dave. Great runner, great commentator, awesome person all around. Go ahead and give him a follow too, and just enjoy the content that they put out.
And I'd also give a huge shout out to you, Noob Tree. It's fun working with you.
Absolutely. You were my partner in my first commentator booth event, and you're my partner again. And I always had a great job chatting with you while we watched these races together. Okay, Soapbox now seeing the good news about the gauntlet. Elvin looks like they are finishing up, picking up that hook as well. Also going to head down the hook route. Flanders taking Baron Castle first, probably hoping for a magma key.
And that's something we see a lot in this community. If you're staring down a hook route, do everything on the overworld. Try to not stare down a hook route.
It's definitely much quicker to find that magma key than it is to take the hook route. As we know in the booth, it's definitely going to be hook route. We don't see magma anywhere unless you go to the moon and find it there. But this is definitely how I would run it too. I don't want to spend some extra time running into that first boss on the hook route and wondering, oh, this one's difficult. What do I do to handle it?
Okay, I saw when Elvin saw reset. I saw what Elvin saw renamed the seed.
What did it say?
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Our runners do like to have fun with memeing. This is a community of memes as well as a community of racing, so we enjoy putting some fun things in our save files sometimes. I'm always afraid to do it because one time I did that, I accidentally corrupted the file, and I had to re-roll it and just re-download it. I'm like, oh wow, this is
Oops.
this is gonna be a rough seat, I guess.
Well, if it's not a tournament race, you just go, I don't know what happened. The file's gone forever.
All right, Elvin now going to get the news that Cecil is resting on the moon, finally joining the rest of our runners and launching that lunar well.
The only difference is going to join as a holy man.
Yeah, so we don't get to see the awesome armor on Elvin's side, but we are powerful enough to handle holding an Excal or a Crystal Sword if we end up finding one of those last ones, and put that adamant to good use probably. I'm wondering what Elvin does though. Who do we drop here for Cecil? Do you think he goes against his nature and drops Sid?
I'd be disappointed about that.
You got to stick to your guns. That's what you need to do. If Elvin wants to be Sid and wants to have Sid on his team, Sid should stay there. And I think having a Zerker strat is not a bad idea. You've got a Rune Axe. That's the best thing you can get for Sid so far. Maybe if you run into an Artie Arrow, Artie Bows as well, and just equip those to Sid, Zerk him up. That's a good enough Z-Fight equipment. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to justify it on this side, to be honest with you.
We do see Soap is taking the basement. Will be rewarded with a Legend Sword.
And it does look like we are about to get to see what is on that hook route finally. We're running out of checks on the overworld. Unless everyone decides to go to the moon and stay up there, then we'll get to finally see who's in the Feymarch. Finally see what that job dwarf has for a profession. And everything that we like about the underground. Oh, hello, Elvin. We're doing a cave value check before we do anything else. I
don't believe anyone has shown us what's in here.
That is true. I like doing this because even though you don't know who's at that lunar dais yet, you get knowledge here. If this is a free check, a free boss, then you take it. You've got levels for everyone else. It's not hard to slingshot Cecil on the moon. It's a mom bomb. I don't think I take that.
Nope.
Yeah, that's gross. Cave value stays valueless for now.
I would like to do literally anything else.
Yeah, so let's go to the mall. The Mall of the Moon. Flander's now doing their dive on the hook route. Gonna find the mop, gonna find some shops, and then hopefully gonna dive a little farther down and launch that Falcon.
Okay, that's where those hourglasses came from. The bunnies had them.
Doing a little bit of inventory cleanup here. One of the worst bosses that you find in any seed, no matter where the bosses are set, is going to be the inventory boss. Especially when you get an Earth Crystal early on and Eblan Castle has a lot of value in it. You just you're going to get a lot of items and you got to get rid of them somehow.
That's what I enjoyed most about the Potion Party flag set.
Yeah,
no inventory boss.
Rarely ever ran into inventory being an issue. Got close depending on who you had on your team and what you found in the shops, but every chest is just it's like the literal lottery. How much money am I going to get out of this one, and will I be able to buy things in different shops? But the one thing that I didn't like about Potion Party, our friend Z had to take a vacation. We didn't really get to see much Z the first 4 weeks, if any at all. And if you did go visit Z, they usually would just give you a little bit of a weird quote and then go back to playing chess.
I don't know, Z kept telling me he was praying for a date, which, good for Z. Eldritch Abominations deserve love too.
Absolutely. You've got everyone in the universe has someone out there for them, and it doesn't hurt to look. All right, Soapbox now taking the trip down the hook route, checking chests, probably looking to see if maybe we can find some Hanzo Steel or another Adamant. I believe someone that I spoke with recently about a race ended up with 3 and said that was a fantastic amount to have.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So Ryoto saying in chat he did it. What did... Are we doing hair dryers?
No, the Sid's gone.
Sid's gone?
We
No.
do see a hair dryers check, which that's gonna get Cecil a whole lot of levels real fast.
Yeah, it is a bit bittersweet not seeing the giant beard on the battlefield, but we understand it as runners why the choice had to be made. Cecil tanking 4 hits to the face, living through those hair dryers, trying to take him down so he didn't get that EXP. Yeah, there's a lot to be said. The hair dryers, they take a little while when you don't have a lot of power, but with this group, you should be able to knock him down. It's pretty on par with grinding an egg in a siren in the underworld. Dath is making a good point in chat. Palom, after the dwarf check, Palom getting yeeted to the side for Sid would be acceptable in this case. Elvin might be thinking about that.
And hair dryer's getting a power shirt, so good value to go with all the levels.
Yeah, it's the better shirt that you can find. I personally prefer ninjas. Speaking of ninjas,
but I'm looking at what happened on Soapbox's side. That was an adventure out of the format ogre chest.
That was an angry stick. That's something that's gonna be fantastic for this Kane. Because we've already got Cecil online. We're not too worried about putting that on him unless we have to. But Kane now can hit things a lot. Nericad doing the basement check as well, gonna get their legendary sword. Stupid Sexy Flanders finding the Mega Sisters on that first check.
Yeah, this is not a terrible fight to find here. While Cindy will punch pretty hard, the thing is Cindy's back road as long as Mindy's up, so you take less damage. And the magic here is set to no.
And it looks like that the threat that was Sandy is gone. We are through the first fight. Now on to the last part of the hook route. We get a free heal here. We see the boss. If you're in this spot, NG, what's your strategy?
Go straight in. If we got lit 3 on Boo, we start throwing lit 3s around. And we just have an angry paladin.
And it looks like we've got I didn't see lit 3. I saw fire 3 and lit 2. So we might just be going nuke. But yes, paladin Cecil gonna be doing a lot of damage as well. And Soapbox Gamer also in the Levy fight. This is turning into a very, very interesting race. There's been a bit of parity, and there's been a bit of divergence.
We do have 3 other runners converging on this hook route now.
Yeah, it's all leading to the hook route. Like you said, as a runner, you look at it and say, do what I can to avoid it. But watching this, I love seeing everybody get kind of pushed to the same place, seeing how wildly they check everything beforehand that's available to them, and then seeing them come back in. There is still a chance Nericad takes a shot at the moon, but eventually we're going to see all of our runners go underground and start to look for those key items. We're still in need of quite a few. We need a pan to bonk Yang. We need a twin harp so we can play some music. We've got to find Golbez somewhere, and there's an adamant rock just floating around, probably in space, if I'm making a guess. But yeah, there's so much to do.
Actually, you were wondering who would go to the moon first. Nericad might feel some pressure after taking that wipe. I would not be surprised if we see Nericad dive the moon, especially if he finds that adamant armor.
Yeah, and then Nericad here is also doing the package check. I wonder if I don't think this is a check to keep Rosa. I think we're checking for that boss spot.
Yeah, I think this may be, I took a nasty wipe, I feel behind. Let's do something out of the way.
DKC at the top of tower. That's Not something
is
we
free.
really have to worry about. DKC normally punches pretty hard, but top of tower I think is what is it, around 120 to 160 damage?
A little more than that, but you've got a 19 HP Fu who can shrug those off.
Yeah, we jump in the fight and just sit there. But Stupid Sexy Flanders launching the Falcon at 4838. We are now underground, and we get to see from the booth and from the chat what exactly is going on here. Just immediately go into Feymarch. I like it. Let's see what's at that queen spot.
And Soapbox right behind Flanders. Nericad finding bonus round, but we know it's just going to be a fancy hat.
It feels good to click things off of that tracker, and then you find something that's not a key item or progression. You're like, oh, it feels less good, but still feels good for a little bit to see that demiss there. Get you that little adrenaline. There's our rock, Adamant Rock in the Feymarch freebie. Okay,
and the Feymarch Brewery is open.
Yeah, we've got Bacchus wines ready to go. Feymarch already having value.
How much wine do we want on this Feymarch? Yes.
Yes, that
Give
is
us
my
all the wine.
The number is yes. We're getting 17 and some mute bells. Okay.
Yeah, Scarcer, I would say it's French vanilla since it's one check removed.
Yeah, originally the rat tail, but we just kind of skipped the extra step here. So right now, I'm going to say that's 3 vanillas on the vanilla counter, including French vanilla.
I think so. We have Octomam on the right. We have Elements on the left.
I've been getting bitten by doing all of the Feymarch checks. Do you take the elements here, or do you wait?
A tough call.
We do have adamant, so we should be able to handle a anything that Ruby throws at us. But it's still a lot of damage to go through.
Yeah, I think the play there, I think you take the elements right now.
And it does give your party a bit of EXP.
With the adamant on Cecil, you could just throw a wall on Cecil, bounce some fire 3s off him, and call it a day. Cecil will cover everyone else, taking 1.
Yeah, and that Porum's standing a little tall there. That's a bit risky. I think Stupid Sexy Flanders uses the cover on Porum to make sure she doesn't get hit because she's not in critical mode. She will not get automatically covered by Cecil.
Adaptus in chat having exactly the same idea.
Yeah, it's always good to hear 2 great minds that think alike when it comes to strategies. As a fairly newer runner myself, listening to the commentary and seeing everyone's ideas in chat, that gives me a lot of experience just by listening and absorbing it from you. So, and that's what I love about this community. Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, not just a randomizer community, but a community full of people who are great at sharing info, helping you get through the toughest routes that you've run. So yeah, hop on over in the Discord if you're liking what you're seeing and you want to be a part of this. Our friends everywhere in the Newbies Corner are going to be, hey, we've got sages here that are going to teach you how to get through these fights that seem difficult. And it's always a fun time over there. You'll have lots of laughs and get to learn how to play this game.
Okay, Forum's throwing a veil. The same general idea. You just want to veil on someone. And fire on the fire 3s. So, Noob Troop, why would we be bouncing fire 3s onto these elements?
Well, from what I've learned, the elements fight has a counter script. Whenever you knock their HP down low enough, they switch over to the next character. But anytime you cast a reflected spell, it avoids triggering any scripts. So casting nuke, casting fire 3 in this case, casting any spell and bouncing it back to the enemy makes it to where they never change that character over, and we never have to worry about Ruby coming out.
Although we just saw is if you're doing cover Cecil strats, don't use the parry command.
Yes, using parry automatically negates your auto cover because you're protecting yourself. I don't know why this happens. This game is coded so perfectly; it should never occur.
And we've found comedy. The comedy club is in Dwarf Castle.
That is a big find. Golbez showing up here means once we're done with this, we're out of face check mode. We no longer want to see what the bosses are. We want to see what they're holding in some cases. So
right,
it makes
exactly
interesting with the routing. And down goes Elements. Let's see what the King of the Feymarch was holding in their royal pockets. Elvin going straight to the tower. I like this. Gonna go ahead and knock out DKC. We get a Moonveil for our troubles in the Feymarch, but we did have one objective and a rock.
It's thematic for this tournament. I'll allow it.
Does that count as vanilla if you find a Moonveil and a Moonveil mixer flag set? I'm reaching. I'm sorry, Dathis.
Yeah, we may need a ruling from the Vanilla Council.
Now I will say Golbez here is French vanilla. So we're gonna go ahead. He's in the same room. This counts, in my opinion. We're up to 4.
And we do see Cecil facing his darkness, just not in the changing room. Nerakat about to take another swing at this Rubicon with a little more firepower.
Flanders setting up the Sheila 1 check as well. Elvin Sorrow just letting Kane hit the floor. Rosa as well. Cecil, how could you? I don't think we quite got the life pod up here. Flanders going back to the overworld. Probably going to check that Sheila real quick. And like you said, Cecil facing his version of darkness in a different room, but still coming in on top.
And
it's the
twin.
Oh boy. We're definitely gonna see music, it looks like.
Gauntlet, Golbez, Magnus, Forge, Asura. Yeah, we are in no mode here.
Yeah, that's it. We know Golbez is in Dwarf Castle, so that's automatically like there's an objective there. Twin Harp. Then you've got Queen in the Feymarch.
So that moon looking pretty haunted right now.
Yeah, I think we can avoid it. The only reason we would go there is if we do not find a pass. And if Nerakat stays true to their team name, fading the harp might be a possibility there. I doubt it though, considering whenever you find that twin harp and you've taken a wipe at least once, you're probably going to go straight to it. Death is pointing out this is his first haunted moon this entire league.
Thank you, Beowulf. I was trying to figure out what those names were on Soapbox's side.
Macross.
It's been a minute.
I don't think I've heard of Macross.
Like giant robots?
I do like giant robots, especially in a grind. Robotech. That sounds a little bit more familiar.
Yeah, it was renamed. It was combined with something else and localized in the US as Robotech.
That seems to happen with all of the good shows getting rebranded back in the day.
Well, it was for syndication purposes.
Yeah, our very own Final Fantasy IV had its own rebranding as Final Fantasy II. That's what it was originally called, back whenever I first played this on Super Nintendo. Of course, I had no idea any of this stuff was possible. Warp glitches, Sylph glitches. But I digress. We
Sure.
have a runner finding Golbez now. Flanders getting the good news that they're getting another objective checked off. And we'll also find the pan, it looks like.
Yeah, the pan is a dwarf, so yeah, this moon is completely haunted.
Yeah, we just we're just, the moon is a vessel to get to Z at this point, unless we find a pass behind the pan, and then it's like, well, it only held Cecil this seed and a couple of hourglasses. Elvin doing circles around the bosses, probably thinking, getting an ice claw.
Oh, did you miss the Flarg and Evelyn? Don't worry, still had your back.
Okay, so Nerikad now taking the dive, picking up that foo. I think Nerikad has an easy time getting through this. Leviathan didn't seem to be a difficult boss for any of our runners, and usually when you see Leviathan, you're not too scared unless it's somewhere that has high magic. Golbez telling us his dragon is full. It looks like we only lost 2 on Flanders' side instead of the 3 that we saw earlier on Soapbox.
And I'm looking, Soapbox is the moment Soapbox goes to the Feymarch, he's gonna be in go mode.
Yeah, that adamant pickup is going to be super exciting to see, knowing that there's a tower key. And a rune axe for our troubles. That tower key at this point might be tempting because you are still looking for that adamant. Feymarch is a freebie. Always follow those free checks, and you know that Queen Spot's going to be required as well.
Right.
Yeah, and we know that that's go mode as soon as you go to Feymarch. So hopefully we don't get distracted by that shiny key.
Elvin, we know, just has to go to dwarf.
Has Elvin foraged yet?
No, just picked up the Advent Rock.
Okay, so did go straight to the fight. Right, Golbez is down. No more laughter from the comedian. What was at the top of tower again?
DKC.
DKC.
Not a problem with a fully online food. You can just sit there and absorb the 3 waves.
Twin Harp was what the reward was, though.
Oh, reward
Okay.
was Twin Harp, yes.
Sorry, I was looking at my notes and I scribbled a few things down. I was like, where did I put Twin Harp? And apparently I didn't write it down. But yes, Twin Harp being available at top of tower, we might be checking the top of tower. I think if Soapbox does see the harp there, that's, let's not even check that tower key. But we do have to do a little dive in there to see what's there.
There's no real reason for Soap to even go in there because Soap's in go mode.
That is true. You are correct. My brain is scrambled from watching these 4 different races. Well, it's one race, but 4 different runners.
You got 4 objectives lit up. You got Forge available and Queen Spot available.
Flanders doing the pan bonk to get rid of that objective. Elvin through the Octoman.
And Nerikad about to take on this hook route. We'll see how he handles these Magus Sisters. I wouldn't mind seeing some rocks dropped on them.
Yeah, the Meteo from half court is what I would like to call it, dunking the rocks all over them. But the press A to win, that's a good strategy as well.
Pretty good.
Tall Grant asking if we can drop a house on them instead of rocks. I don't know if that's possible.
Only in other versions where weak is known as tornado.
But unfortunately, we are not in Kansas at this time, so it is just called weak. I'm also here for it, Step Lively. Let's hashtag add a house to our spell list. So Soapbox.
That house, that spell has a 1% chance every time you cast it to accidentally summon the Hell House from 7 remake. Skull is on the same page.
Yeah, let's do it. Oklahoma has more tornadoes per capita than Kansas. I did not know that. But do they have hell houses?
It may be dangerous, but Wizard of Oz is not set in Oklahoma.
Okay, Flender's getting that 7th objective knocked off of their checklist. Does not have the Legend Sword yet. And we know that that's in Baron Basement. There's a very big possibility.
Flanders might go Moon here,
Yeah.
which we in the booth know is absolutely haunted.
Nope.
Oh, Flanders gonna make the play.
Making the play that we know is correct. That's huge. Going to the moon in this situation, there are 6 key item checks up there, but it takes much longer to get up to that moon, get the Legend Sword, and come back down. So you're thinking, okay, we don't have the pass, we don't have the Legend Sword yet, we want the Legend Sword or the Twin Harp. Where would be the quickest check? And other than Tower, we're at the we decide to go back to our hometown, check the basement out, and see who the real king of the castle is.
Yeah, Elvin taking the longer way through this elements fight. Not having the adamant armor makes cover strats a bit sketchier.
Yeah, even with Blink, these bosses are a bit quick, and if they target everyone else and knock them completely down, your Blink's just gonna stay there and be useless until you're the only target left.
Need to heal it because eventually this form does throw a wave out.
Oh, big hit, but Cecil stays up.
And that big wave's going to say no longer.
Just not enough HP to survive.
And it says, I'll come back later. Soap going to be the first one to show us what is the Forge.
I am ready for scrap. Let's see it.
You know what? I'm feeling nice. Give us a Sasuke.
Sasuke. I would even take a Sunrise because that still gives us the extra agility, so we get to have the spiciness, but it also gives you that extra power and isn't a scrap. Ooh, crystal rings. I love seeing those in a shop. So crystal rings here, they do give paralysis resistance, if I remember correctly, but we're not worried about Golbez anymore. So the only reason we really... Oh, wow. Now I feel bad for wishing for this.
So Coco's like, hey, you know that shiny stick and piece of Price's Metal you gave me? Yeah, I made an oopsie.
Sorry, I thought you said you wanted a legendary weapon, or legendary Zonk, not a legendary weapon. But it's still go mode, so Soapbox Gamer's still kind of happy to see that. We do have the task of getting some levels here. I think without pass, I just do it on the way down to Z.
That's a possibility. If we find Sirens available, I'm fairly certain our runner's going to be at 10 key items, so could just crack a handful of eggs.
Yeah, the Soapbox has 11 key items and does have 6 Sirens already. So that's probably the easiest. Yep, there's some Sirens, so gonna make some omelets, it looks like.
I can go for a good omelet.
Yeah,
What do you like in your omelets?
I like peppers. I like throwing some spinach in there. Give me a couple of dices of ham or turkey, mushrooms. You know what? Just load it up with everything. Put the kitchen sink in there too, and more eggs.
I'm not sure you want to eat the whole kitchen sink. That's a bit rough.
Yeah, you're right. Might be little terrible for digestion. Hard on the pipes, if you will.
Very well done.
But Soapbox, the first one to go mode, is joined very quickly by Flanders. Flanders also preparing to get rid of all of the extra stuff we've picked up throughout the seed and buy a couple of crystal rings, maybe a power shirt. I like it. Protect ring to get rid of some, well, to get rid of some of that that damage we'll see coming in from, in case we see a nuke or a virus come through. It does help a little bit with that magic defense.
Elvin selling the farm for some of the stuff. And Nerecat did get through that Leviathan, is underground, went straight to the Feymarch to take some objectives.
Yeah, and when you see Octomem there, and you have Blinks, I guess illusions, I don't think we saw any. We know the Moonveil's behind the elements, so we're probably not getting that. But you think, okay, I can handle this. Just keep punching Octomem. You'll start noticing those tentacles fly away. I don't think that that's just an aesthetic, though. I think losing those tentacles does something to Octomem.
Causes a large amount of pain. I mean, you're chopping arms off the poor thing. Which is why it slows it down. It's, nursing its wounds.
Well, unfortunately, that's a sacrifice Octomem needs to make, because we need our sushi. We are ready to have some good food here, and the more we cut off those legs, the less we see attacks from Octomem.
Yep.
And the easier it is to handle that fight.
Cutting off the legs does slow Octomam down, which in the vanilla game is why the Octomam spot is so fast.
That makes absolute sense when the game is oh, look, a swoon proc on an egg. I did not notice that until just now. That's fantastic to see. But
with the right agility setup, you can just hold A and have Edge swoon every egg.
Didn't quite get the swoon at that point. Flanders heading straight to the moon.
I think we're taking our grind here, because I would not feel comfortable taking Z with these levels.
Yeah, I feel like with food, though, there's a possibility, if you have the right set of items, you might be able to take them out. Is there a strategy that we could use with that?
Oh, I would not recommend doing Fu and Friends with this anchoring situation. It's going to end hilariously.
Yeah, I've practiced it a few times. Never with an Edge, though. Edge being too fast, I don't get my inputs in, even at like battle speed 3 or 4, in time to get anything done. So while it is a fun thing to talk about, we do know that this is probably not the seed to do it on. Oh, hi, Elvin. What are we doing here? We're checking on the music.
Yep, we are. And on Flanders' side, we're going to siren up some gold dragons. I believe we've got some hourglasses in the inventory too.
Yep, doing a gold dragon grind, that's always fun. We do have weak if we need it, but we're probably just going to hourglass and Zerk up Cecil. Oh, goodbye, Porum.
Porum knows what she did.
So, NG Dave, Elvin's going to take a look at what's in this crystal room in Cave Magnus. There's something we usually do here. Would you like to do the honors and explain what's about to happen for us?
Well, we're about to just talk nonstop for the next 5 minutes, and chat's going to love it.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Anytime that we check the Twin Harp, all the commentators do is just talk over everything that's happening. So we're going to have a good time talking about it. I will pit.
Dathis, let your ban both of us do this yourself. I'd like to see you try, Dathis.
Well,
I'm not afraid of your banhammer.
I am absolutely afraid of the banhammer. So I'm going to go ahead and defer to Dathis on this. Once we see this Dark Elf first fight go down, DJ Spoony Bard is going to get up out of his bed, walk across the room, and play us some sweet jams. So,
Yep. Most of these songs have been sequenced by Calamity and Xenocat. I think Xenocat's probably at the lead by now.
It's a fantastic arrangement, and we're about to go ahead and let you all hear what's going to be playing on the radio tonight. So sit back, grab a drink, and enjoy.
And with that very peaceful Chocobo theme finished, Elvin will light up the Twin Harp objective.
Yeah, that almost put me to sleep. That was so relaxing. I just loved the sound. It was so soft. And once again, shout outs to Calamity and Xenocat for arranging all of these songs here. Every single one you listen to, they're all bangers. I love them. I wish I had the soundtrack set up on my computer so I could just play it all night.
And with how much stuff they've done, you probably could get a full day's worth of music by now.
So after the music, we'll go back to seeing what the rest of our runners are doing. Nericad fighting their Golbez. The comedian not going to be a problem here. Soapbox and Flanders are neck and neck, diving down the moon, getting ready to visit the big baddie of this game. And I do see a lot of weird flags in chat here, NG Dave. What are these Z's with question marks for?
Some people are huge fans of the end of Alphabet.
Yeah, I can see an argument for Z or Z. Which one do we say here? But these flags are actually representative of not going to bed because it's late, but the Zeromus that we are about to fight is too big to be put anywhere else in the seed. It's unfortunately we can't randomize Zeromus and have Big Bang and Antlion Cave, but Zeromus does like to cosplay. There are several hundred different costumes that we can see Zeromus wearing whenever we go to fight him. But there is a big question that we like to ask when we approach here. And NG Dave, if you don't mind, would you do the honors for that?
The question is, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
And we are ready to see that butt, and if it has a hat.
Or my favorite secondary question, will it haunt my nightmares? There are some serious nightmare fuel in that pool.
There are some. I've seen a few that I was just like, nope, you know what? You win this seed. I'm just going to reset and roll another. Not because I was afraid of the fight itself, just didn't want to look at it the whole time. Right. Flanders in the fight, getting Zeromus up first.
And thank you, J-Run, for gifting those 5 subs.
And it looks like I received one of those subs, so thank you very much, J-Brun, for allowing me to be a part of this community in a big way. And now our true colors emerge. Z, what are you wearing? We get the Gur. I like it. This is a
That is classic Donkey Kong too.
I guess if you stare at the face long enough, it is nightmare fuel.
Yeah, but it's just such a funny face. It doesn't really do that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, unless they're saying Big Bang is just a bunch of barrels rolling down. I think media would be the barrels rolling down.
yeah, that having thematic attacks would be amazing. Oh, whenever he flashes, the mouth opens. That's kind of cool. Cecil taking the first nuke after the Silk Web. Porum attacking, getting some damage in on DKOMIS.
And Chad pointing out, use the hammer. So I guess Sid would be really good here.
Yep, we get to hear some awesome music as well. Soapbox in their race also heading up to Z, launching that crystal now.
Then Nerukat about to enter go mode as well. Fu needs Fu's out of juice though.
Now, Elvin making a dive to the moon. This, we know in the booth, this is not the play to make at this point. There is a chance, though, we do see something here that could be helpful, but fading Dwarf Castle when Golbez is sitting there, unfortunately, that kind of feels bad from up here, but I do respect the thought, like, hey, there's 6 checks up here. I need levels anyway. Let's do some moon here.
It's a completely understandable play.
Here comes our Big Bang. Unfortunately, no barrels on the screen. I don't think the barrels were programmed in. And we lose the squishies.
That Big Bang was not nerfed.
Yes, I think what happened early on in the fight, Flanders threw out all the silk webs in the inventory, but we got the nothing happened.
Yeah, with a fast hero like Edge, you almost want to like pause a beat or two to make sure a DKOMIS in this case has turned off the immunity.
But Edge and Cecil gonna be doing plenty of work here. I think even with this Big Bang doing a lot of damage, Fu should be fine. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
so
everyone walks this off.
We do run the risk of seeing a black hole here, though.
And on Soapbox's side, we see the same thing, just zerk everyone up and turn them loose.
Yeah.
With the extra levels on Soap's side, this should be a much smoother fight.
Darting that spoon right off the bat, too, getting that 10k damage. That definitely helps a little bit. We did get Black Hole on Flanders' side, and we have a nuke coming out that's going right for Edge. I don't think Edge is going to survive this. Okay, so we've got the Moon Bros ready to go here.
Yep, the Lunarians can take this one home.
Getting that Ether 2 on Fu to make sure that we have the MP we need to finish out. It's this one is one of the closer Z fights I've watched. It's definitely possible. I don't see Flanders wiping, but it's one that definitely gets you a little bit scared when you're playing.
Yeah, with the pockets inventory, you've got a white mage keep everyone up.
Got another shade.
Yeah, Soap's got the extra firepower with nuke flying.
That was a unreflected nuke as well. There's rocks.
We do have rocks on Flanders' side, so Flanders is through.
Yeah, there not too much damage left to go. Then we're gonna see the crack boom. There we go. GG's to Flanders.
Flanders winning his race and finishing first on the restream.
Yeah, that official time coming in at 1:23 and 1 second. Um, Absolutely fantastic job. And we are now joined by Flanders in the chat. Flanders, thank you for jumping in. GG's on that race. Well run.
Thank you very much.
So had a lot of options to choose from at the beginning of this one. Whenever you saw that Earth Crystal, what was your first thought seeing that you had an Edge and Cane to go along with it?
Go run up the tower if I have anything resembling a good weapon, and see if I can complete an objective. I was pretty happy that was the water hag. I would have been a little bit more thrilled had it been the gauntlet, but hey, like, either way, it got me through, and it got me a couple of good characters right off the bat. So then it ended up just kind of becoming like almost a reverse of what I think people typically do when they start the seed, you know, because I already had characters. So okay, I'm landed at Baron. It completely changed the routing for me.
Yeah, we were also here in the booth looking when we saw that blue robe. We are like, ooh, and then we didn't see anything else. We were kind of hoping for that gauntlet there too, if not for more than the spice, but for an objective. So,
Yeah.
That next boss though was a Ruby. How did you feel about that? Seeing Ruby there at a high magic spot.
I just knew if I didn't set off a counter, I was gonna be pretty much fine. And thankfully I had just enough J items to be able to really take care of it. I mean, it's very nice that Kane does not activate the counters. Worst case scenario is I think I had one or two other things I could have darted, which I wouldn't have minded doing just to get through it, because it was so early in the seed. It would have been easy to like replenish anything that was like kind of nice at that point. But yeah, I wasn't too thrilled to see it at first, but then I just remembered, don't make him counter. It will be fine.
Yeah, and once you got through that, like you said, we were talking about it too. Routing was something different at that point, and everything did funnel you eventually to the hook route. But when you got underground, there was a plethora of value there. What was your thought process when you decided to go straight to the Feymarch? What was going on in your brain at that moment? How were you planning to move?
I think at that point I had a couple. You know, when it becomes like a key item hunt, which sometimes some of the objectives can become, it's like, okay, do I have a boss that leads to a potential key item? So when I saw that, I was like, okay, I have to do the queen anyway. I have a decent amount of power at this point. I think I can pretty much do whatever. And then when I saw the Feymarch was, oh, I can cover strap both of those things with my Adamant Cecil, I will do that. Thank you very much. It was kind of nice. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done both of them, but it was just a matter of looking at that particular moment and seeing that, like, oh, this I can clear and never have to come back here. And I'd rather just do that, get some extra experience, and kind of figure it out later. Then it became a matter of like, it's always a matter of, do I want to try and get the pan before I do the first sylph check, or do I want to do the sylph check? Because Sheila likes to hold the pan. She likes to be very vanilla in the seeds that I play, so that was kind of what I was thinking. And you know, it didn't work out this time that way, but hey, like, it was just a matter of just follow your checks, follow your freebies. Don't bite off more than you can chew. Just do what you can.
That sounds like a very good thought process that did get you through to the end here. NG, Dave, did you have any questions?
I don't know. You covered all of the major points that happened here. What did I ask? Was there ever any thought, or you had the Adamant Cecil or Adamant XL Cecil early?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever thought of just taking him to the moon?
No, not once did that thought cross my mind. I think when you play a race, it's you kind of can go in. There's really I don't want to say it's a binary, but it's like there's like two different directions I can see. One is like if you're feeling like you're playing well and you're getting objectives like at a relatively decent stable rate, I think it lends itself to kind of playing that kind of lends itself to doing, you know, okay, like it feeds into this idea of like you're doing okay, don't do anything crazy, don't take any risks. And I usually like to full clear Earth if I don't have the pass. I didn't have the pass. So if I had had the pass, I might have gone to the moon, but I have gotten burned in too many seeds lately by the moon, so I was okay with not going to the moon this time, and I had so much power just to wipe out pretty much everything that was on Earth that I was like, Earth will be done relatively quickly anyway. So I that was kind of my mindset. I think because I had gotten a couple objectives really, like I said, stable periodically. Like it wasn't like I got one objective way early and then I didn't see the next objective for 50 minutes. I think it let me kind of not panic, which is really important.
As they say, the seed provides.
Is that what they say? Okay.
Well, I do have one last question for you that I thought of, Flanders. This is week 8. We're at the end of the regular season, if you will. What were your thoughts on the tournament? How did you feel about Potion Party and Moonveil Mixer, and what are your plans going forward?
I liked of the two. I probably ended up actually really liking Potion Party a little bit more. I thought it was like I don't know. I just found it a bit of a nice reprieve from like the typical flag sets that kind of run the tournaments usually. So I really enjoyed like not having to think about zero miss. Also allowed you as a player to like take some different types of risks versus like with Moonveil Mixer, you've always have to think about like the grind at the end. Like if something silly is at a spot, like it makes for an anticlimactic viewing, but it you can then kind of like play around and see like, hey, can I do that Murasame altar really early? And oh, it's goblins and I have something to deal with goblins. Like, it made things a little bit more interesting, I feel. Moonveil is like kind of, it feels to be very typical, but I do like that Moonveil, the flag sets have evolved where it's not like it hinges on one or two key items. Like it does feel like a relatively solid scavenger hunt.
Well, that's definitely some great feedback there. I can definitely see the difference between, doing something fresh and playing the standard tournament sets. But at the end of the day, we are here. You got a victory at the end. Flanders, is there anything else you want to say? I'm going to give the floor to you for now.
Yeah, do weird things in seeds because it's fun. Why not? Just be the wild card.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for putting on a fantastic show for us tonight, Flanders. Once again, GG's, and we look forward to seeing you do some more out there.
Yes. Take care.
All right, that was Flanders, our winner for his race and the overall first to finish. During that interview, we did see a wipe on Soapbox Gamer's side, but did go right back into that fight. And for now, go ahead, Inchi.
And now we are joined by Elvin Sorrow. GG's, Elvin.
Hey, thanks for the GG's.
All right, first question for you. Why'd you betray your boy Sid like that?
So, I knew that was going to be asked because there was also dupe Sids, right? And I should have taken both of them. But I mean, I don't know. As much as I love Sid and I'll fight him to death if anyone ditches him, when I'm racing, I'm like, okay, maybe he's not the best in this situation.
That was when we saw that second Sid in Kaipo. It was immediately, oh, Elvin loves this seed already.
Yeah, I would have loved it more if Sid was a hero, though, because his forge weapons are so good.
Speaking of Forge, you did pick up the Adamant and the Legend Sword pretty early. Getting that Legend Sword in that basement at Baron, how did that feel? Seeing that you were able to take that basement pretty quick.
So I actually thought I was really ahead for a while, right? But then I, of course, end up last locationing underground. And then at that point, oh, did it feel bad. Because Pan was the objective. I'm like, maybe I can not do Fabul, but it's no, you have to do Fabul.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the seed did funnel everyone to the hook route. I will say you weren't as far behind as you probably felt. Everyone did full clear the overworld. I do think you were the only one who checked cave value, though. What were you hoping for there whenever you went to that moon?
Cave value, I was hoping for something free. And just maybe I could spike something. But when I saw Bomb there, I was like, no, I'm out.
I don't blame you one bit. That's a stinky fight.
Yeah, we got grossed out for you in the booth, too.
Yeah, and then the Elements fight down to the Feymarch. I feel like I was pretty close to it, but then that wave came out, and I was like, geez. But it sounds like, talking with Flanders, it sounds like me fading Dwarf Castle was what got me.
Yeah, there was a dwarf was a double.
Yeah. See, at that point too, I went to the moon because I think I had like almost every boss spot location open, so I was just face checking. And then
It's a perfectly reasonable play.
And then part of it too, and I think this happened last time, is I don't know what it is, but lately I seem to always forget about Dwarf Castle. But it had 2 boss checks and 2 key item checks. I should have went there. But it is what it is, and even if I did do that, I don't know. Flanders, I have to watch it back, but Flanders is such a phenomenal player. He probably would have got me anyway, so.
Yeah, it's everyone, like, at the beginning, from then all the way to the end, everyone, including you and Flanders, were putting on a spectacular race. It was pretty much neck and neck the whole way until that divergence.
Yeah, and then once I saw him with the dot done and I was still on the moon, I was like, well, it's in Dwarf Castle, and I'm very tired right now, so unfortunately I'm just going to forfeit instead of finish the race out. 'Cause I'm very tired.
Absolutely understandable.
And have yourself a good sleep.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping to. It's my job. It just gets very busy for holidays, so I'm just like, let me go to bed, please.
Well, before you hit the hay, is there anything else you want to say, Elvin? Any shout outs or any notes you want to give us about the flag sets?
The main thing I want to say is, of course, I love the Brew Dude attitude, all of them. It was unfortunate that Nick Curry had to step out, but Ariane came in, and man, Ariane, so amazing. That's the main thing. It's just, yeah, I love hanging out with all these guys. I'm glad Ariane stepped up to help us out. As far as flag sets, Potion Party wasn't really my wheelhouse, but also because I didn't practice it very much. But this Moonveil mixer, though, that's more my wheelhouse. So I have, even though I'm thinking, 1 and 2 for Moonveil mixer, but I still feel like they're some of the best races I've played.
Absolutely. That's I love to hear about the camaraderie with the teams. So thanks for sharing that with us, Elvin. I want to say have a great rest, get some sleep, and we look forward to seeing you in the future in different tournaments. Okay?
Well, I'll definitely be around. You're not getting rid of me this early. Come on.
Well, have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you again, Daphis and Dave, Noob Tree, Rito, and Step. and everyone else. I'm sorry if I forget anyone. But in a good game to Flanders, Soapbox, and Nericat. I don't know if I said it right. But good game to everyone.
All right. And with that, during that interview, Soapbox Gamer did tell Z to go back to sleep. It is their bedtime too. And we are now joined by Soapbox Gamer, the winner of his race. GG's. Good job on getting through that rough Z fight.
Yeah, what a beautifully targeted nuke. I mean, GGZ. I mean, come on, man.
So let's rewind a little bit back to the beginning of the seed. Starting out, you had Edge and Kane, and you got gifted an Earth Crystal. What was your thought process right out of the gate?
Raid Earth, make sure I have enough weapons for the two of them, and just start picking up characters and objectives as humanly possible. Because if you're gonna give me Edge, and if I go to Hobbs, say, and I sit there and have a white mage or something like that, it's Edge versus Blue Planet, and I'm just gonna start speeding up, because you're gonna tell me, oh, first hour we're gonna sit here and start blowing through stuff. Okay, that's fine. Just give me a weapon I can get through. Full Moon and Assassin, I can work with that.
Yeah, and those that power did come early and often. You were one of the first, I believe you were the first to pick up the hook and then dive the hook route for that character. When you see a mop there, how does your heart rate feel? Do you get excited?
I basically said if I don't have 3 objectives in the first hour, I'm probably gonna lose. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, it's the overworld definitely it gave you a lot to work with that Darkness Crystal early too. Did you ever think before going to the hook route, like maybe Magma's up on the moon?
I was thinking about it, but it was one of those things where if any other character other than Cecil was on the moon, I probably would have peeked Bahamut to see if it was something you can get through. But you give me Cecil that early, I'm gonna blow through ordeals, and then the chain just ended up being, all right, go through everything else and see how it plays out. And luckily that was the route. Obviously when I look back on it, when I was looking at the rest of the things, it was like, well, guess what, your Magma was in the Bahamut cave, which would have been my likely route if Cecil wasn't there, because I had a Siren. I was ready to pop it over on over in the cave and just do a couple gold dragons just to get up to speed. But it was an interesting decision at that point, because either way would have been acceptable. It was just a matter of exactly how that was going to play out. But the character's like, go back down, get something together. And the second I got that X-Cal, away we went.
Yeah, and once you got underground, there was just key items and objectives galore available for you. The first checks that you do when you start seeing those things come in, I wanted to ask, what were you thinking at that point? Were you glad you didn't go to the moon, or were you hoping for a pass so you could get to the moon with what you had?
I was up in the air, because usually if objectives like that start flying fast and furious, I've been for the last 4 weeks saying, hey, play from behind, figure out exactly what you need to do to start speeding that up. But the second I saw all those there, I'm thinking of my opponent is probably either right with me or ahead of me, because these are complete decisions anybody would have made. It's not something where you would have had to think about it. It was just a matter of having conviction about it. So I'm thinking to myself, well, go. Just keep going. And luckily, the way the chain went, I had everything I needed. By the time I was through the Feymarch, I felt comfortable. And it was just, you have everything, grind all your eggs, everything is where you had it, get up to the moon and just run. and the Z fight obviously was real lopsided, but then again, edge anchor, have fun, people.
Well, that's all the questions I've got here. NG Dave, do you have anything?
No, I think you've covered everything from soap. Just a big GG's thing, or for this win, Soapbox.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Definitely GG's for getting through that heck of a Z fight. Do you have anything you'd like to add before you take off, Soapbox Gamer? You have the floor, so anything you need, let us know.
GG's Narrowcat, great race. GG's everybody else on Restream. You know, Edgy Dave, thank you. Noob Tree, thank you. Ryoto, thank you. Stab, thank you. Love all of you. Obviously, it's a member of the Restream, but as always, I appreciate being on here every single time I get an opportunity. I appreciate all of you and everything you do. Dothis, thank you. I'm glad you had somewhere to beat it tonight, considering hour 15, away we go, but I appreciate all of you, and I'm just glad I get to, you know, if this is the end of my tournament, that I'm glad to be able to leave on a win and at least contribute to the team for once. It's been rough, but it's been a lot of soul searching and a lot of improvement, especially with this seed, so I'm very ecstatic for the progress I've made in this tournament. But GG's everybody, it was beautiful. This was so much fun, and hopefully I'm back the next tournament as well.
Yeah, we hope to see you back for what will likely be ZC6.
Yeah, and thank you as well for putting on a fantastic show tonight. It's always fun watching people on Restream put on a good show, and that's exactly what you did tonight. So.
I appreciate that, and I'm just very glad that this was one of the best races I had this entire tournament, and that's how I get to, you know, if I have to end it this way, I feel good going home for this. It was nice. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate y'all.
Anytime. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
All right, and that was Soapbox Gamer, winner of his race with a time of 1:34.39. Speaking of rude Z's, Zeromus has been very, very rude to Narrowcat.
Yeah, Zeromus, especially with the hero flag on, is not a free fight.
Yeah, having Edge bring up that speed a bit. This is what you see whenever you have a fast anchor. Z just throwing out big bangs left and right, hard to keep up. But Narrowcat does have the power, the skill, the finesse to get through this. Z just a little bit cranky today because DK is not friendly whenever they don't have their coffee, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I would like to see if Narrowcat has a Silk Web inventory, I would like to see a Silk Web used to nerf here. Because with how speedy Edge is, Z is probably RA3 to start the fight, and a Silk Web knocks it down to 6.
Yeah, the magic that is agility and relative agility is something that's, even for some experienced runners, a little bit hard to grasp. Any tips on how that works for us, NG Dave?
What, agility in general, or just making it behave better?
The RA3 and RA6.
Oh, so Edge being our anchor is... So Zeromus has 69 agility, which means that for every 14 agility you have after 28, you slow Zeromus down by 1 tier.
Okay, so at this moment, being at RA3, trying to get a slow out would knock it down 3 tiers?
So if you throw a Silk Web, it applies 2 stacks of slow, which effectively cuts anyone's actions, and it doubles their number of ticks it takes for them to take an action. So RA3 would be 3 ticks per action, Silk Web doubles that to 6.
Okay. So basically, just try to make sure that Zeromus takes as many ticks as possible while we do our actions.
And that's why with a fight like this, if you're fast anchored, Silk Webs are your friend.
Now, casting slow is an alternative we have if we don't have Silk Webs. Does that work a little bit differently? I noticed you said 2 stacks.
Right, slow can stack up to 2 times. It would take 2 slow casts to get you there.
Okay. Well, it looks like we've gotten through and did trigger that refill. We are direct casting spells on Z. Is there... I know whenever you do cast a spell on Zeromus, it does change the amount of damage that the Big Bang does. Is there a risk of casting too many spells directly?
Nerf timing with fast anchoring is an adventure. That's how I'll describe it. There are tricks some people use to get it down better. I like using the sap picks, for example.
Okay. How do you leverage those sap ticks?
You take one sap tick per tick of the timer, so you can tell when Z's turn comes up.
Okay. So basically take what would normally be considered a negative circumstance and turn it into a silver line. I like
Right,
that.
it's ways you could use to kind of glean information from what the game is doing to you, or showing you.
It looks like we are in the nuke phase. Z is just straight up casting it. No counters here, just running roughshod.
That means we are in phase 2 of the fight, where Z throws a nuke after the first big bang of the phase.
And we did see a black hole, I believe. That's why we're throwing
Right,
those pocket swines back up.
Right, the script for phase 2 is shake, big bang, black hole, nuke, and then there's a short pause before the next shake.
Cecil putting out some nice damage there. Kane coming from above like a bat, dropping 34k or 3400.
Oh, 34k jump. When did we turn break damage limit on?
Apparently, whenever my brain decided it was gonna do numbers wrong.
We're on
We got
rocks.
rocks.
Yeah. And Narrowcat will be through on this attempt because, well, Cecil's got more than enough HP to tank a few rock hits.
Yeah, when you see those rocks, it's shortly followed by the shake that we are now seeing, which means Z has dropped, and it is GG's Narrowcat for getting through that rough fight.
And we do have a message that Narrowcat will not be joining us for an interview, having some technical issues.
Yeah, it definitely deserves respect for getting through that. So let's give a shout out to Narrowcat. Let's give a shout out to all of our runners. Each and every one of them put on a super show tonight, and they all deserve some love. So you see those names on the screen? Give them a follow. Let them know that you back them. It's good to see them run that race tonight. Ninja Dave, it's Saturday night. It's 11 p.m. Central Time, midnight Eastern. I guess this technically counts as after dark. What would you like to say to our lovely audience this evening?
Oh, like I say, this has been a fantastic day of races. Just lots of hype matchups going into the end. And we are not done with Free Enterprise. Tomorrow we have on Restream Boney from Times Winter versus Tybalt from We Were Shorts and Winter at 3 on this very channel, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Funnel Cakes of Battle and Cricket Club versus Peasants OMFG of Team Wombat Milk. And then we'll call it midnight, we have the matchup. We have a matchup everyone's been waiting for since CC5. We have the Martin Broadcloak of Team No Springs versus Rybon at Box of Clocks somewhere.
Yeah, it's a great way to finish out the regular season. It is the finale for the regular season of Elixir League Moonveil Mixer and the overall league itself. But we don't have to wait for Free Enterprise to come tomorrow. We actually have more that we're going to watch tonight. We're going to go over and join Tall Grant as he does a little bit of practice for a special event that's coming up. And I want to say, Ingy Dave, thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, and thank you to everyone who made this happen. At Daphis for restreaming Rolling the Seed, Step Lively and Riodo for tracking, and our 4 runners, Narrowcat, Soapbox, Flanders, and Elvin for being restreamed. We couldn't put on a show without all of them.
Yeah, all of you are fantastic people. I want you to stay safe, stay beautiful, and it's same to you, chat. Have a great evening, and let's continue watching some Free Enterprise tonight, or get some sleep.